one of the things that's very impactful is the company that you keep, the people that you surround yourself with. And I started thinking about that, and I thought about it for a while, and I realized that actually that thing is so important, that topic is so important that it will affect the other two. It will affect the other two. So probably it is even more consequential, more impactful on your life, who you surround yourself with, than even those choices of who you marry, because it'll affect who you marry. It'll affect the kind of the career that you choose, or the college that you go to, and the path that you pursue. So here the Shaykh, he talks about the ideal Muslim, that he mixes with people of noble character. He mixes with people of noble character. And, for the vast majority of us sitting here, right, if you're over the age of 30, you're 40, you're 50, you're like, this topic, I've heard it so much, tell me something different. But those are the people that fall into sitting with people who are not of good character. And certainly the youth, obviously, they're because they're young and they're still flexible, and they're still can be affected by negative influences. Of course, they are susceptible. But the older people also, right, are affected by the company that you keep. And so the Shaykh, he says, among the characteristics of a true Muslim is his contact and close friendship with righteous people. And he mentions the verse from Surah Al-Kahf that we recite every week, right? Which is, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ. He says, and keep your soul content with those who call upon their Lord morning and evening. Yani, keep yourself content with those people who are worshiping Allah and calling to Allah. Be content with those people. We want to be with those people, who tell funny jokes. By funny jokes, we mean bad jokes, right? Those people who are a little bit, disinhibited. Those people who make fun of other people. Oh, look, that guy with the big ears, or the long nose, or he looks like this, or she looks like that, right? Those are the people that we want to sit with because they're funny. We make us laugh. But he's saying, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, keep yourself content with those people who call on Allah morning and evening, seeking His face, seeking His pleasure, and let not your eyes pass beyond them, seeking the pomp and glitter of this life. Don't look beyond them to those people who are involved in this life. Nor obey any whose heart we have permitted to neglect the remembrance of Allah. Nor obey any whose heart we have permitted to neglect the remembrance of Allah. Do not obey those people who we have caused them to forget Allah. Don't obey those people. Yet, those are the ones that we want to be with. Those are the funny people. Those are the cool people. Right? Those are the ones who, according to us, they light up the gatherings. So, those are the people that we need to stay away from. And surround ourselves with people who are a positive, who are noble, who have good character, who will remind you of your limits. Say, no, don't do that, man. That's not cool. Somebody says something about somebody else in the group. It says, no, that's not funny. Say it. That you're going to make the gathering more serious. Doesn't matter. You have to be principled. Doesn't matter. So you say what you have to say. You stand up for what's right. Right? And so if you live those life of those principled people, then inshallah ta'ala it keeps you from falling into you yourself slowly committing those haram, saying those haram things, bad things about other people. And then he mentions the famous story. Again, this is one of those famous stories. We know it so much. Yet if you reflect on it, you will see there are so many more blessings and certainly more things that we can learn from it. He mentions the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ, in which he said that there are two kinds of Muslim also from the teachings of his religion knows that the friends are of two types. Right? One kind is a righteous kind and a non-righteous kind. He says the good friend is like the bearer of musk. And this is from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He's the one who has the bearer of musk. The one who wears musk, who wears fragrance, perfume, cologne, or even works in making it, selling it, giving it. right? And so if you surround yourself with those people with this good smell, right? What kind of people wear those kinds of good smell? Like angry, mean, foul people, or usually people, even the people who have that characteristic, right? Think about the people. Certainly you're going to find people of all kinds wearing perfume, but the majority of people that you encounter, right, who smell good, they also have some kind of decency in their character. Because to smell good, you have to be what? You have to be generous. You have to be caring. Because the smell is for who? Who's the smell for? You know, when you put the smell on, right, in the morning, and I put my cologne on, I can smell it maybe 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, not even a minute. After that, you stop smelling it. Just after 1 minute, you stop smelling it. For the rest of the day, everybody else around you is going to smell it. The person in the car is going to smell it. The person next to you is going to smell it. The person who meets you, greets you, everybody else is going to smell it, but you're not going to smell it. Right? This is one of the reasons that one sheikh, he says, if you want to spend, I don't know, I might have mentioned this before, he says, if you want to spend whatever you want to spend on perfume, go ahead and spend it because sadaqah. He says, whatever you want to spend on perfume, on cologne, on musk, is sadaqah. Right? And that's what I told my wife, to let me buy a $400 cologne. So he mentioned this. So, and then he says the example of the other person is that he, and also when you sit with a person of musk, you get up. How do you feel? You feel like, oh, it smells good, smells fresh, smells nice, makes you feel good. And you know, scientifically, there is science to back up the fact that when you smell good, you feel good. You feel, this is one of the reasons that, people do wear cologne and spray and perfume, is because it gives you confidence in who you are. Like it gives you, makes you feel better. And so the people around you feel better. You're like, oh, what is that? That smells great. And so the opposite is the person who, he says, is the one who operates the bellows. When they're making like swords and what do you call it? The ironsmith, right? So he's banging away at the things, and then he works the bellows. Bellows are the thing that blows the air, right? And so think about his job. Do you think he has a happy job? Does he look like he is? Maybe he does. But he's like, think about this. He has a bad smell. He's probably gruntled. He's probably, he's overworked. He's probably not in a good situation. A hot day in the hot environment, smelly, smoky, all that kind of stuff. And so this is not a person who has. And so if you're around this person, number one, you're going to smell like him. That's one thing. But then you're also going to, look at his character, look at his being, and you're going to leave with an atmosphere of gloom. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he said in this hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, he says, the good companion and the bad companion are like the bearer of musk and the one who pumps the bellows. With the bearer of musk, either he will give you a share, or you will buy from him, or you will smell a pleasant scent from him. In other words, you're benefiting nonetheless. You're benefiting nonetheless. You either take something a lot from him, maybe you take the musk, or at the very least, you're not going to buy it from him. He's not going to give you any. At the very least, you smell it. You feel good, right? But with the one who pumps the bellows, either he will burn your clothes, or you will smell a foul stench from him. And so here we see the importance of surrounding ourselves. And the speaker who spoke a couple of weeks ago, Brother Hamza, he said, and this is a famous saying in the self-development books, that you are the average of the top 5 people that you spend the most time with. The 5 closest friends, 5 people that you spend the most time with, whether emailing, writing, reading, talking over the phone, WhatsApp, text messaging, the 5 people that you talk to the most, the closest friends, you are the average of them. So think about, who are the people I talk to? Are they the gossipers? Are they the people who always gossip? Are they the people who always make bad comments? Are they the people who are always negative? Are they always telling me to do something bad or evil or wicked or think negatively about people? Or are they people who remind me about Allah? No, fear Allah. No, you might be right. You might be wrong. You might do, they make me better. Or do they make me worse? And so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to follow in the footsteps of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to be amongst those with a noble character. Jazakumullahu khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
عادي أوي.
دي جامده ماشي، في كوره جوه حلوه اللي كنا بنلعب بيها الصغيره، روح هات، خلي ماما تجيبها لك من فوق الدولاب. روح. مش هلعب. عايز منديل؟ مش هلعب. حاضر. حاضر. استناك. حاضر يا نونو. ازيك يا حاج عصام؟ عامل ايه؟ خدت سلامات مع مع المحامي؟ لا والله ما كلمتهم. بس انا رحت لهم سالتهم قبل كده. رحت لهم المكتب قبل انت ما تكلمني. لا مش عايز. عندي ماجستير بس هم مش هياخدوا حد مش واخد مؤهل من هنا. هم بياخدوا ناس من هنا. انا كنت شغال مش بره ليه، بس انا كنت شغال محامي ماسك قضايا كبيره. كنت ماسك قضايا الدوله كمان. يعني كنت عايز اقول لك والله قضايا بمليارات. كنت يعني شركات عالميه، شركه ميرسك اللي هنا دي شركات كبيره جدا. كان بيننا وبينها وبين الحكومه المصريه قضايا، فكنت انا ماسك القضايا دي من ضمنها يعني. انا وفريق كبير يعني في الشغل. كنا حوالي 25 واحد في القضايا. بنمثل وزاره الماليه. هنا لا مش هنا بس يعني هم برضه لهم طبع هنا مختلف شويه. خير لو في اي حاجه ظهرت اي حاجه تانية قدامك مثلا هنا او في نيويورك او في اي مكان. مش فارقه مؤقتا حتى لحد ما ربنا يكرمنا في اي حاجه تانية. ربنا يكرمك. كتر خيرك. شكرا حبيبي، مع السلامه. نعم. نعم يا نونو. لقيت الكوره؟ ماما لقيتها؟ حزام؟ مش لاقيها؟ انا اللي اجيبها لك. يلا اطفي النور وتعالى نلعب جوه. حبيبي اطفي يلا اللمبه دي. اطفي كل الانوار عشان نروح نلعب جوه في الاوضه اللي جوه. يلا اطفي عشان الناس. اطفي بقى عشان عمو هيزعل.